Magellan players, it is time to step out from the dark obscurity of B-rank leader tiers and take your rightful spot at the top of the meta list, probably. No longer will other players laugh at your leader choice at locals. No longer will you sit at an empty table being silently judged by green-purple Dofi players as the lesser purple deck, maybe. The time for your sweet revenge and triumphant return is now, and all it took was a ban list and a new $30 starter deck. Rejoice, for your time is now, hopefully. Welcome back everybody to Kaisaku Dad channel, and today we will look at a beast of a deck list for Magellan that I think could be a top contender in the new OPO4 meta. As I'm sure you are all aware, the ban list effective November 10, which bans Whitebeard, the leader, bans Searcher cards Nami and Curly, is going to shake up the meta. Also, a new starter deck is coming out around the same time, which features new red and purple cards. All of this results in a perfect storm for Magellan to potentially rise to the top of the ladder. So let's take a look at some of those new cards. So one of the new cards is Eustace, Captain Kidd. He costs 7 Dawn, has 8k attack, and he has an on-play ability as well as an ability when attacking. So his effect lets you put back a Dawn into the Dawn deck, and it gives your leader 1k plus 1k power until the next turn. So this essentially turns your leader into a purple Whitebeard every time you play Kidd or attack with Kidd. Not to mention, when you use Kidd's effect during your turn, Magellan also activates his effect, making him a 7k attacker without investing any Dawn. Pretty crazy, right? So Kidd is a must play for the deck. Maybe somewhere between 2 to 4 copies, I would say. The next card is Heat. So for only 3 Dawn, this card has the potential to be a 6k attacker every turn. So his effect reads, on your turn and once per turn, when a Dawn is returned to the Dawn deck from your field, this character gains plus 2000 power until the start of your next turn. That is crazy good. It means on your opponent's turn, he will still be at 6k power, and again, it's only a 3-cost card. Insane. And the best part is that you can play him on the turn before your 5-cost Magellan turn, making your turn 3 and turn 5 into a crazy curve. To take advantage of Heat's ability, it's best to use cards with on-play ability that put a Dawn back into the Dawn deck. So cards like King, Queen, Kidd, and Magellan are strong on-play abilities and lets you put back a Dawn as soon as you play them. The cost to play these cards are not too steep, which is great because you're subtracting Dawn every turn, but you should still have enough Dawn to play these cards every turn. Big cost cards like Rush Kaido are good in the deck, but it's best to keep high cost cards to a minimum since you won't be ramping up very quickly. In fact, you're doing the opposite every turn. You're ramping down. So the magic number to keep in mind are to include plenty of cards that cost between 5 to 7 Dawn. That's the best number for the curve. So here is the full deck list that I'm using. You'll see that a majority of your big hitters are again between 5 to 7 Dawn. I also included 2 copies of one of the new purple cards from the starter deck. His name is Wire, and Wire is a 3-cost blocker that lets you draw a card and discard a card once per turn every time you put a Dawn back into the Dawn deck, and this happens during your turn and during your opponent's turn. So it's a really good card that helps you cycle through your hand and discard unneeded cards. You will also see that I included the 6-cost Rush Queen. You can think of him as a mini Rush Ace from the red set. Just like Ace, he gains Rush and minuses 2k power a character when you play him. So most importantly though, he minuses a Dawn on your turn, which enables your hero power and heat, or if you have wire, if they are on the field, it enables them too. So generally your mulligan for this deck is to have heat or wire, so a 3-cost card, and a 5-cost that minuses a Dawn. So preferably Magellan, but Queen, Blocker Queen, and X Drake work just as well. So you need this in order to put pressure on your opponent, otherwise you'll be playing an uphill battle. Let's talk about this deck's curve. We will begin with your curve when going first. On your first turn, you want to be playing Hannibal to search for your Magellans or any other Impel Down cards. Your next turn, you want to play either Heat or Wire in preparation for your 5 Dawn turn. If, by any chance, you don't have either Heat or Wire, but you have Sadie, and the Jailer Beast card, you can play Sadie and use her effect to summon a Jailer Beast. Sadie is not the strongest play for you, but it's a good tempo play on your turn 3. Especially if one of the Jailer Beasts is either Mino Zebra or Minotaur. Your 5th Dawn turn is your second crucial turn. So Magellan is the best character to summon, followed by Blocker Queen, then X Drake, in that order. Summoning either of those 3 5-costs while you have a Heat or a Wire will trigger their ability as well as your leader. So your next turn, you will be at 6 Dawn, and that is probably the perfect chance to play King or Rush Queen to KO something on your opponent's board, while still activating your leader's ability and Heat and Wire's ability as well. You can play a second Magellan too, just to keep your tempo going and avoiding or stopping your opponent from ramping. That's also a good option. After that, you will be on your 7 Dawn turn, which is your Captain Kidd's turn, and playing him again will activate your cards' effects, but this time it will give your leader an extra 1k power until the next turn. For obvious reasons, going first is this deck's strongest curve. Let's talk about your curve going second. When you're going second, your game plan completely changes. Instead of a tempo aggressive playstyle, you switch into a defensive / control playstyle. The Magellans go from being aggressive into more of a body that will activate your leader's ability. There are of course exceptions, like when you play against yellow. In this case, going first or second matters less because Magellans will just keep yellow from getting to their big mom turn. But in all other cases, when going second, the turn you play Magellan is on your 6th Dawn turn. On this turn, you have 2 choices. You either play your 6-cost King, or you play the Magellan. Because you're going second, and therefore your opponent has probably developed a board, chances are that playing the King is the best choice. But again, that's not always the case. Let's look at your curve while going second. On your first turn, you can play up to 2 Hannibals to search for key cards. This could be Magellan, it could be Sadie, or a Jailer Beast. On your second turn, you will have 4 Dawn. And what you play here depends on a couple of things. If you have Heat in hand, along with either King, Queen, or Magellan, then playing Heat for 3 Dawn is perfectly fine, because you know that you will be able to trigger his ability in the next turn. If you have Heat in hand but no Kings, Queens, or Magellans, but you have a 4-cost Jailer Beast, then it's probably best to play a Beast. Especially if you have the Blocker Beast with a 7-cost Kid in hand. Because you can play the Beast, the Blocker Beast, which is Mini Koala. You can block with him next turn, gain a Dawn, and on your next turn you will be at 7 Dawn, which is perfect for playing Kid. If you are feeling gutsy, you can still play Heat on your 4 Dawn turn and hope to either draw one of the bodies like Magellan, Queen, or King, either from life or during your normal draw phase. If you do, then you're golden. But if not, then you will be set back in the game. Finally, before getting into some gameplay, I want to talk about some potential tech cards you can include. Rush Kaido is a great card that fits the aggressive playstyle of the deck. Kaido allows you to KO something and attack with a big body. The drawback though is that it will take you quite a while to get to 9 Dawn, especially with this deck due to how many times you are losing 1 Dawn every turn. Nevertheless, Kaido is a good option. The second option that I recently have been experimenting with is the 8 cost Film Uta. She costs 1 less than Kaido, but she can boost everything on your board with an extra 1k, including your leader. And this buff lasts during your opponent's turn as well. So if you combine Uta's ability along with a kid that's already on your board, your leader can be at 7k power going into your opponent's turn. So, and I think that it's really cool. And again, her ability works well with Magellan's leader effect. So if I had to say, Rush Kaido is more of a finisher card or a closer, and Uta is more of a late game tempo card. So depending on what your deck needs, you can choose whatever card to tech in. Anyways, thank you for making it this far, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. Alright, so we're facing off against Zoro. We are going first. I think this is a pretty good curve. So we're keeping this. I'm going to go into Hannibal. We're going to get... We already have a 1 Magellan, but having 2 is not bad. Okay. We're going to attack. Blocks it. And then here we go. We don't have a 2k. Holy moly. Alright. Unfortunately, we're going to have to ditch 2 cards. Tells them we don't have a 2k, which sucks. But, oh well. Yep. Even though it was a good hand, not having counters is bad. So we're just going to be a little bit defensive here. We have to be. Because we're already taking 3 lives. 2 more lives than actually, we've taken 2 lives. 2 more than I wanted. Okay. At least we have kind of control of the board now. What is he doing? He thought he can get rid of this. Gotcha. Maybe I should block that. It's okay. Just developing the board. He's probably going to take all of these attacks, but that's fine. Alright. Hopefully he takes this, and then we'll both be at even life. I have the board, but his turn now. Alright, see how it goes. Still pretty fast, but it's Zoro, so it's to be expected. I think he misplayed here. He thought he could get rid of this. -3 to this Magellan? Sure. So I can play king and get rid of this. Or I can play on curve and do... I think I'd rather... Let's just play it safe. At the most, you'd have to discard another card to keep this alive. but he's not. Okay. Maybe he doesn't have a Whitebeard card. Who knows? But yeah, I'm trying to keep it safe. There you go. GG's. Yeah, Heat is just really strong. And then these cards, it's a double-edged sword with Magellan and King and Kid because they have no counter, but they have just such strong abilities. So yeah, let's do one more game. All right, so we are playing against Flamingo, going first again. Let's see, we have this. We already have a Searcher, which is good. We're gonna try it out. Already have a Jailer Beast. I'll just go with the blocker then. Good thing we have King. Bad thing is we don't have our Magellan. Not yet, at least. We don't have a good 3-drop. We're just going to attack twice with this. The next turn, we might just drop Drake. Takes 2. Okay. So it's alright so far, I guess. So. Take it. Yeah, so none of our really good 5-drops, so we're gonna have to play Drake here. So at most he's gonna discard 2 cards. One with Drake's ability, and another one if he wants to counter. Or you can just take it. It's up to him. Okay, so 2 cards from his hand, that's not bad. And next turn we can play King. Alrighty then. And counter with Sadie. Do we take this? Yeah, sure. Not sure if we should take that or not, but we're gonna attack here. Okay. He's at 1 life. I think 3 is, if I can counter, I'll counter. But I think 3 is a pretty good life buffer. There's 2 in between. Yeah, so I think we're playing at suboptimally just because we're not getting what we want. We have King, but playing the Drake kind of, it hurts. Kind of. It's a good enough play, I think, but still. Don't let rest though. Okay. I was gonna try and attack Drake. Yeah, I can't really defend that. And we'll counter out with like that. Magellan. Huh. This card is pretty annoying. And so is this card. Like, we're close to getting... He's only at 6. He's at 6 down. He'll be at 8 next turn. He'll be at 7 if I play Magellan. We'll see what he does here. Okay. Seven, 8. So we'll be at 7 dawn next turn. I think I need to be aggressive. These are just, I don't know. You can get lots of value with Guild, but he's going to be minusing dawn every turn, so I'm okay with that. This one is annoying, but yeah. Okay, it's okay. Again, if he wants to draw cards, he's going to be minusing 2 dawn, and that prevents him from going into his Doflamingo turn, which is fine. It's cool. Yeah. Yep. And yeah, one more. That's a counter out of his hand. It doesn't have it. Okay. Just thinking about his effect. I mean, it's good, but he's going to be staying at 7 dawn perpetually. Oh, he's attacking my Magellan. No, I need to survive. And we have another Magellan. Cool. So every turn he's gonna have less. And 7? Another 7? Let's see what he's gonna rest. Maybe he'll rest the Magellan just so he can attack into them. Alright. At this point we'll just take this. Okay. Okay. Slowly getting there. Very slowly. Next turn, maybe we'll play the X-Drake. Do we want to take one? I think we take the life. Just one though. I don't want to take more than that. What can he play with for? A Nami? Searcher Nami, probably? I need this for next turn. Okay, now we have this one, which makes it better. Makes it easier to defend. Alright. I'm just gonna keep doing 7. 7 twice. And counters in hand, which is good. 1 life, not too bad. He still is not. He's at 4 Dawn? Wow. He's at 4 Dawn. That's crazy. He's using up all his cards. He has enough counter for everything. Nope. That's nothing. He forgot about Kid's effect. Okay. There you go. Three cards. Let's see. I would take two Ks. We can do that. It's okay. That goes all over hand. Huh. He only got 1 up. That's fine. We're gonna do... There you go. GG's. So it's definitely a lot of tempo play. Like having these guys out on the board and then having your hand with counters. That's how this deck operates. The Uta, I think it's good when you have a full board like this and you're taking it kind of slow. But the Kaido is good to close it out. Again, getting to 10 Dawn though does take, or 9 Dawn does take a while. And then it puts you back to 4-6 Dawn, which is still fine. I mean, yeah. So Kaido is still a pretty good option, I think. Uta, Kaido. I was experimenting with Uta. It found some value in some games. But overall, I think Kaido is a stronger finisher. So take that. And thank you for watching so far, or up to now. And I'll see you in the next one.